A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant shift in immigration policy, the UK government has announced a temporary suspension of new applications for the Refugee Family Reunion Scheme. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper made the announcement, stating that the move is necessary to manage the increasing pressure on housing and to align the UK's policies with those of neighboring countries. The suspension, effective immediately, means that refugees will now face the same restrictions as other migrants wishing to bring family members to the UK. This includes a requirement to earn a minimum of £29,000 annually and provide suitable accommodation, alongside the necessity for family members to demonstrate a basic level of English. The decision comes on the heels of a summer filled with criticism regarding the government's handling of asylum seekers, particularly in relation to the use of hotels to accommodate those arriving by small boats. Cooper emphasized that the current family reunion rules, which were established years ago to assist families separated by conflict and persecution, are no longer in alignment with modern realities. She pointed out that many European nations impose waiting periods before refugees can apply to reunite with family, allowing them time to establish themselves economically and socially. The temporary suspension has drawn sharp criticism from various quarters, including opposition parties and refugee advocacy groups. Conservative Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp lambasted the government's approach, arguing that mere tweaks to the family reunion rules will not suffice to address the ongoing border security crisis. He pointed out that the government's failure to effectively manage immigration has led to widespread protests across the country. Philp has also called for the revival of the controversial Rwanda plan, which sought to deter illegal crossings by sending asylum seekers to the East African country. The government has previously stated its intention to end the use of hotels for housing asylum seekers by 2029, but Prime Minister Keir Starmer has expressed a desire to expedite this timeline, acknowledging the local opposition to such accommodations. In addition to the suspension of family reunion applications, Cooper announced plans to review how the European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR, is applied in immigration cases. This comes amid growing calls from various political factions to either withdraw from the ECHR or suspend certain elements of it, particularly concerning immigration matters. The government has maintained that it will not withdraw from the convention, but will reassess its interpretation in light of current immigration challenges. The announcement also coincides with the government's preparations to implement a new pilot scheme with France, aimed at managing the flow of migrants crossing the English Channel. Under this scheme, the UK will send refugees and asylum seekers to France in exchange for approved applicants, with a focus on family groups. Cooper stated that the government is also establishing an independent body to handle appeals, as many individuals currently in asylum accommodation are waiting for decisions on their cases. As the UK grapples with increasing numbers of migrants arriving via small boats, over 28,000 have made the journey this year alone. Advocacy groups have warned that the suspension of family reunion applications will only exacerbate the plight of vulnerable individuals. Safe Passage, a charity that supports child refugees, criticized the government for capitulating to far-right pressure, arguing that the move will leave children fleeing violence and persecution without safe routes to reunite with their families. Enver Solomon, chief executive of the Refugee Council, echoed these sentiments, stating that the changes would not deter dangerous crossings, but would instead push desperate individuals into the hands of smugglers as they seek to reunite with their loved ones. The announcement has sparked renewed debate about the UK's immigration policies and the treatment of asylum seekers, with many calling for a more humane and compassionate approach. As the government prepares to outline further reforms to the family reunion route later this year, the impact of these changes on refugee families remains to be seen. The political landscape continues to evolve as pressures mount from both sides of the immigration debate, leaving many to wonder what the future holds for refugees seeking safety and family reunification in the UK. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.